When I first came to McDonald's, I was involved in ministry. And I went to McDonald's to take away the financial concerns of being involved in ministry. The problem was that as I became more successful at McDonald's, it took away from the ministry. And as a result, it just led to me just not being happy, and just led to me just really inquiring from the Lord if McDonald's was really what He would have for me. As a result of that, God very clearly spoke to me and told me that my time was up at McDonald's. Working for the YMCA, it's a great organization to work for. Utilize some of my gifts, talents, abilities, and passions. But it's a non-for-profit, and so as a result of that, I make a third of what I made at McDonald's. And so there's been some challenges financially. There was a bill that came out of nowhere, and when I mean out of nowhere, it literally came out of nowhere. So on Friday, it was on a Friday, I got my first check from the YMCA. On Saturday, I checked the mail, and there's this bill that comes in. And on Sunday, I'm scheduled, out of obedience and so forth and so on, I'm going to write my tithes and offerings check. It's just heavy on my mind going into Sunday. And so as I'm sitting there in the middle of worship service, and I'm making out this tithe check, the Bible talks about that God loves a hilarious giver or a cheerful giver. And there was nothing cheerful about me writing this tithe check. I had a lot on my mind pertaining to this bill. And so as I'm writing this tithe check, I'm just really praying to the Lord and saying, Lord, I need for you to come through. I need for you to do something. There's nothing I can do, but I need for you to come through. And so I wrote this tithe check and just really put it in the Lord's hands. And it was cool what He did later on that Sunday. I have some good friends in Newcastle, Indiana, and their son was being baptized. And so I left Purdue and I shot over to the baptismal service, and I was late to the baptismal service, but he was the last one being baptized. And so after he got done being baptized, we came and shook their hands and congratulated them on their baptismal service. And at the end of the service, we were all walking out, and the pastor comes up to me and he gives me a big hug, and he says, we appreciate all that you've done for Daniel. And he said, and our family just wants to be a blessing to you. And he shook my hand, and there was something that was in his hand folded up. And so I took it and I put it in my pocket. And when I got in the car, I opened it up, and it was a check. And it was a check more than enough to cover that bill and to have some residual left over. It's kind of cool to know that God told me to leave McDonald's. And then I make a third of what I make now, and I still have things that come in unexpectedly, but that He has proven over and over again that He's more than enough to make up that difference.